Hey there! Today I'm going to show you how I draw Sonic the Hedgehog and give you some tips for your own Sonic drawings. Let's get started. So the first thing I do is I draw a nice round circle, go around several times to make it round. Then I draw two crosshairs, one going vertical and one horizontal. I like to draw a nice round circle for his body and sketch in where his shoulders are going to go. And then I round it out at the bottom and draw his legs going straight down. Then I like to draw some nice ovals for his shoes, just to kind of mark out where they're going to be. I like to draw in his entire pose before I get into the details, just so I can kind of see where everything's going to go and hopefully make sure all the proportions are right before I start adding the details. I've made that mistake too many times, and it's not fun once you get a nice looking face and then the proportions on the body are wrong because I ran out of room on my paper or it just wasn't turning out right. So for the hand, I like to draw a rectangle that's narrower at the wrist and wider at the knuckles. And then I like to draw kind of a triangular shape for where the fingers are going to go. This will vary depending on what position the hand is in, but for this tutorial, I just want to show you a simple example. I like to mark out where the bottoms of his shoes are going to go so I know where the ground is. That's always super helpful for me so I know how his weight is going to be balanced. And then draw in some little ovals for where the socks are going to go. Alright, let's get into the fun part. So I'm going to go ahead and erase most of that circle I made for his head, just enough so that I can see what I'm doing when I draw over it. So I like to draw a nice wavy line for the top of his muzzle. I always do the top first. And then I come down and draw his chin. And since his muzzle is like a 3D object, you kind of want to make it stick out a little bit from the circle that we drew initially. I'm going to give him a little nose. Then I'm going to work on his eyes. I like to draw a couple of ovals just to kind of mark out where they're going to be. They're actually a lot bigger than you might think. They kind of extend over most of the rest of that circle that we drew initially. Then you're going to just draw a line up and over and around that oval to kind of create his eyeballs. And you don't have to follow that oval exactly. It's just kind of a guideline. So especially on this second one, you can kind of come in a little bit because his eyelid is going to be covering that area. So then I'm going to draw his eyebrow, or whatever you want to call it, and that just kind of follows the same arc as the eye. Now, depending on what expression he has, it could be a little different. Then I'm going to draw his pointy little ears in. They're just basically triangles. And I'm going to erase some of those extra sketchy lines that we don't need for the eyes. Then I'm going to draw in a nice round oval for his pupil. Alright, now for the quills. A lot of people struggle with this one. I always start with the top quill and then work my way down, and I like to draw the upper arc of each quill before I draw the bottom part. And I'm going to erase all of those extra sketchy lines. And as I'm doing that, I just continue to make the lines that I want darker and erase the ones that I don't want. So now that our line art is done, we can go ahead and work on some shading and details. So the way I do it is I first choose my light source, and then I go ahead and I draw outlines around where the darkest shadows are going to be. I have some on the undersides of his quills and on the side of his muzzle opposite the light source. So then I just fill all of those areas in with parallel lines. once I'm done with that, I just want to give some little details to his eyes, give him a little sparkle there in the corner where the light source is coming from, and make the bottom parts a little lighter. And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this tutorial, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and go follow me on Instagram. I've got a lot more Sonic content coming soon, so stay tuned.